Hello, my name is Finya. Welcome to my new video. Today I want to do like a little guide or an introduction on how to read the Grishaverse. So basically what books are there and in what order you should read them. I read them all like back to back and I was addicted and I loved it so much. But there are a couple of books where I didn't know where to fit them in between the series, or like even in between books in the same series. So yeah, this little video is just there for you to have a guide to basically tell you in what order you should read every book in the Grishaverse. So my order is not the publishing order, but it's also not the chronological order in what the events happened. Most of it is, but there is some books that I switched around. For example, backstories that just make more sense if you already know the character. So the first thing I think you should start with is the Shadow and Bone series. I mean, it's like the most popular series in the universe, I think, with Six of Crows. It has a Netflix TV show. I think a lot of people just know the Shadow and Bone series. So this is 3 books. The first one is Shadow and Bone. The second one is Siege and Storm. And the third one is called Ruin and Rising. So this is the first full series, chronologically speaking, in the universe, and also the first one that was published. I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably already know what the Grishaverse is kind of about. But basically, we have this magical world and we have some people who can use magic. They're called Grisha, and we have different types of Grisha. We have people who can bend flames or bend water or heal and stuff like that. And we follow around a character called Alina. She doesn't know she has those powers, but she quickly finds out about them, and we follow her attempting to destroy the Shadowfold. And the Shadowfold is basically a strip of land that is just complete darkness. We have kind of weird mutant creatures in there who are trying to kill you, and it's very difficult to travel through. So it basically divides the whole country and people are trying to get rid of it. And yes, we follow her around trying to do that. For me, Shadow and Bone is definitely my least favorite series in the Grishaverse, but it's definitely a good starting point. And I do think you should read the series in order to understand the rest of it. You can skip this one, but everything will get spoiled for you in like the first pages of Six of Crows, so you can't really go back to it. It kind of would destroy the fun because you already know what happens. And yeah, I would advise you to read this. If this series is just not for you, I would not advise you to stop there. I would advise you to skip forward to Six of Crows, because it just gets so much better from there. I think like the writing style is so much better in the later books, and this feels more like a trial, to be honest, for like the whole universe. But after this, everything just gets so much better. And I'm so glad I made it through this and I continued through the universe, and I'm so happy about it. So those are fun, but if you don't like them, skip ahead, please. Please don't quit the Grishaverse. After Shadow and Bone, I think you should read Demon in the Wood, which is a graphic novel showing the origin story of the Darkling, who is kind of the villain of the Shadow and Bone series. And this is very great because it's a very beautifully drawn, very captivating little story about like his childhood and teenage years. Drawing style is so pretty, the coloring is so pretty. Even if you don't really care about the story, this is such an eye candy to read. And this, I think, is like kind of the point where you should read it, because you kind of know about the Darkling's doings later in life, and then have this information afterwards, I think, gives you more than reading this little story and then continuing on. I think it just makes more sense to read this after. And please do, even if you just like to watch the pictures. It's very pretty and I really liked it. It's a quick read. And then we come to the holy grail of the Grishaverse. Yes, I'm talking about the Six of Crows duology. I adore this. I just love these books so much. I mean, I love these books so much, I literally got a Casbreaker tattoo on my arm. I think it's actually from this book right here. Can you see this? This exactly is the tattoo I got. This one. I got it really spontaneous. I don't really regret it now. I don't think I care as much to kind of put it on my body for the rest of my life, but I just read those and like 2 weeks later I got an appointment for the tattoo. So, I mean, why not? But yeah, going on. These books are just fantastic. So basically the premise is kind of a mix between Peaky Blinders, Ocean's 11 but set in a fantasy world. I don't even know, it sounds weird, but it's really, really cool. So basically we have Casper, who's kind of like a criminal mastermind who puts together a very unique kind of crew to do a heist, to earn a lot of money and make it out alive. But I think what makes these books special is that each one of those characters is just so captivating and they come alive on the page, and I almost feel like I know these characters. I think these books have it all. They have a great story, they have great characters, and you go through so many different emotion reading these. Like on one page I was like glued to the page, ready to what is coming next. I just wanted to find it out as quickly as I can. And then on other pages it was kind of poetic and romantic. There's so much to explore in these books and I love them so much, and this is why if you don't like Shadow and Bone, please just skip towards Six of Crows. It's just so perfect. And these editions, by the way, they're also perfect. I think they're called the collector's edition. Like this is the first one, which is like the black and the red foiling. It's so pretty and it goes really well with black and gold foiling. I just really love these. It also has sprayed edges, not fancy, but solid color. And the maps are so pretty, like the details on the pages are so pretty. And yeah, I just like looking at them and enjoying to have read them and rereading them a lot of times. Like these got me in a reading slump because I was like, oh, it was so good, like nothing will compare to these. But actually these are also pretty damn good. This is the King of Scars duology. It's not the collector's edition, but those are just hardcovers that look kind of similar with the matte hardcover and kind of the foiling. Also pretty, I think. I don't really want to tell you too much about the series because in this series characters from Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows come together and are now the main characters. I don't want to tell you who it is actually because I was so surprised how much character development was going on there, because there are a couple of characters in here who I just didn't really pay attention to in the first series because they were just side characters that were just there, I think. I don't know, they had charisma, but I didn't really needed a book series only about them. But when I got this and I read this, I just loved it so much more, and I think it would surprise you. I mean, you can look it up. Who am I to tell you what you should or shouldn't know? But I think it was just for me very surprising and a very pleasant surprise also to now have these characters as main characters. And I can't really tell you about the story too much either. I think this series actually needs the series before to enjoy. I don't think like the political drama of the countries and stuff like that would make sense as much, and the backstory of the characters we have here wouldn't make sense without knowing the stories from the other books. So these one I would actually advise you to read the rest before them, but Shadow and Bone, Six of Crows you can both read on its own. And this concludes basically the main series in this universe, and now we have 2 companion books left. So the next companion book is The Lives of Saints, which is also again such a pretty edition, right? I think all of her books are just made with so much love and so much care, and all the editions are just so pretty. I don't know, oh, look at this, like the color is such a weird red tone, but it goes so well with the gold and like the lettering as well. It's just so pretty. I don't know. This book exists in the Grishaverse itself. So in the Grishaverse there are saints, basically like gods that people pray to, and this is their stories. And the book itself exists, so characters might be seen reading in this book. But as time goes on and new saints emerge, they are added to this book. So time-wise, this is the book after all the series. So if during the series another saint emerges, you will find it here. So this will definitely spoil you, so don't read it before everything else. Just read it after you finish out the series. It's a really nice comeback, kind of a little extra sprinkle of information, and it's so beautiful. Like the pictures and the pages, they're all just made with so much love. I don't think the stories are like groundbreaking, but they're very cute, and the book is just so cute, and it's just nice to have this. And the last thing is another companion book, which is a short story collection, which is again so pretty. Like, how? I don't know, I just love these editions so much, and I love it when a hardcover, it's pretty without its dust jacket. I don't know, I hate dust jackets, I just loathe them to death and I will always rip them apart. But if it's just a boring ass hardcover beneath, I don't know, I don't like it. But these are just so pretty. I mean, look at it. So these kind of read like children's stories or tales. I mean, it's called Midnight Tales and Dangerous Magic. And a cute detail, I think, is that the stories are tales from the different countries. So we have one Zemini story, 3 Rafgan stories, 1 Kerch and 1 Fjorden. So these read pretty different depending on what country they're taking place in. And yeah, it's also very pretty. We have a lot of pictures and a lot of just attention to detail. What I love about this book is that while you're reading a chapter, the art at the corner of the pages is slowly forming a bigger picture, and in the end you get kind of the whole thing, and it's just so pretty. And yes, it read really nice. So yeah, that concludes all the books. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is the Netflix TV show. I mean, there is one existing. I think it has 2 seasons or 1. I'm not even sure right now, but I don't think they are continuing that show. I mean, it makes sense, to be honest. I think if you're going to watch the series, I think do it afterwards, because you're just messing with timelines. So basically, the TV show throws characters from Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows like all in one TV show in the same timeline, which is just doesn't make sense at all. Shadow and Bone takes place years before the Six of Crows books, so I think like the Six of Crows characters would be like 13 or something like that, and they kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I didn't really like it. I think a lot of things were wrong with the series. I think some characters were cast pretty good, but then the acting wasn't as nice, to be honest. And other things like the casting was kind of off, but the acting was better. I think sometimes the visual effects were pretty good, but in other scenes, like in the background, it was just so bad, and I was just cringing really hard while watching it. And I don't think they improved on the series in any way with mingling all these characters. I just think they thought, oh, the Six of Crows people are pretty popular on TikTok, that just throw them in. But I don't know, it's not really the vibe. I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy it, and I was pretty angry most of the time watching it, because I was reading the books right before that and then watching the series and then messing everything up and every turn of events, and then just putting stuff from the second book in but nothing from the first book of Six of Crows, for example. And just, I don't know, I just didn't really like it. I think it's enjoyable if you don't really have high standards and you just want to watch something before going to bed. I think it's nice, but I don't know. I think I'm probably going to make a whole video on how I would do the Grishaverse series, because I have pretty intense feelings about it in this topic. But yeah, just if you want to watch the TV show, do it after reading the books. I think you have kind of weird expectations towards the books and towards the timeline of it all if you watch it before reading. So yeah, this concludes my reading guide, I would say, for the Grishaverse, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. Stay tuned for this very angry video I'm doing on the whole TV show situation on the Grishaverse. And by the way, I'm linking all the books in the series in the description, so you can just go for the link and buy the exact editions that I have. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next video, hopefully, and have a great day. Bye. This is more like young adult